Hello everyone, I'm in Stone Town. Apologies for wearing sunglasses. However, the sun is so bright that there is no other way to do it. Don't take it as I'm hiding something from you. Okay. So today we're going to investigate the diamond mining, but before we start I would like to share my opinion about Africa. You know, in many videos I was trying to show you that actually people here are not that much awfully poor as TV tries to show us. Of course, there are many shocking videos in YouTube and TikTok and wherever. However, I strongly believe that it's made just to get some hype and to attract audience who likes wow fake news. But so far I haven't noticed anything really shocking. I cannot tell for the whole Africa, of course. However, in Tanzania, for example, more or less everywhere the houses are quite neat and living conditions are pretty much satisfying. And I believe I know what I'm saying. Because I traveled a lot in Tanzania. I traveled from the very east part of the country to the very west one. And I've never met anything but a perfect road, very much normal houses and clean environment. I made quite a lot of videos on my way to the mining, so you'll be seeing at least 3 or 4 examples of local villages. You will be able to check it out by yourself. In the morning we also saw crowds of people walking somewhere along the road. I asked my driver who were those people and where they're going to, and the answer was quite clear: they all are going to work. So it's another proof that not all of citizens of Tanzania are lazy bones. Cannot say the same about Zanzibar or any kind of touristic areas. Because here on Zanzibar it's very much true. Most people are doing nothing, but I believe it's a very common situation for the island and touristic areas. However, in mainland Tanzania, thousands of people were commuting to work every day. All buses were full, as well as trucks, motorbikes, cars and so on. The same situation was in the evening, when people were returning home. Another proof that they actually are able to work are the fields with crops everywhere around me. If they are so lazy, who was working on the fields which are stretching from one side to another as far as the eye can see? And moreover, over 2 days while I was traveling from one mine to another, I haven't seen starving children or any people with weapons or just bandits. Everything was quite nice and clean. And I can assume you, if I saw some starving people or bums, I would definitely have made a video. I'm not a shy person to do that, but I just haven't got any chance. The most hungry village, let's call it so, will be included in today's video, and you will see it a bit later. So we have been on the road for several hours so far, and I was expecting the road to end, however it doesn't. Miraculously, the road is very nice, and it's going on and on from one part of the country to the very other one. And look at those fields, very neat and tidy everywhere around me. The houses are also quite clean and pretty. No garbage, no trash. Don't think that I clean it up, especially for the video only. Of course, there are like tiny pieces of whatever on the side of the road. Bottles maybe 1 or 2, but there are no heaps of garbage. So as you can see, Tanzania is quite fine. The house over there is being built, I guess, but you still can see with your own eyes that it's not a shack. So where are those starving children with flies on their skin? Where are bandits with guns and beggars? Where? I've been expecting to see them, but I haven't met even one yet. I have actually a hypothesis why do we see all that shocking videos on the internet all the time. During my staying here for the last 6 months, I have watched a lot of materials about Africa by different bloggers, and all of them showing quite disgusting pictures of ill people and dirty cities, and streets and heaps of garbage, diseases and anti-sanitary, and etc. And I'm starting to think that all of that is made just for the promotion. I asked my driver actually to take me to one of the places where I could see that sort of distressing picture. But I still don't believe that is a common situation here. Why do the bloggers and TV shows promote that bad vision of poor Africa, you would ask me? And I think that is just because shock content sells easier and better than the truth, because the truth is a bit more boring. Another possible reason may be the stereotype. Every country has its own recognizable image, which is very far from the real situation. However, we never doubt that fabricated image about another culture. That's why probably the whole world believes that Africa is all about poverty. poor health and medical conditions, very bad food and etc. So I hope my video will help to build a bit more trustworthy image of Tanzania at least, if not the whole Africa. We are continuing our journey along the poor Tanzania, where everyone is believed to have HIV, and I suggest you to have a look at those terrible looking shacks. It's not even a village, it's just the tiny settlement of 5 or 6 houses. And what do you see there? Is that a car? Seems like it is. And surprise, surprise, the houses look like normal houses, suitable for human being. No starving children so far. Of course, it's not very luxury houses, but seems like pretty much fine to me. And it's not a first example. Almost all the settlements which we have been passing by look approximately the same. And it's another very nice example of the settlement. Again, no guns, no starving people, everything is very much fine. An even bigger surprise. Do you see those people? Yeah, they're trimming the lawn in Africa. Who would ever believe that? But nevertheless, the main purpose here is to try and visit the local tribe, where people are still using bows to hunt and therefore they're still making them themselves. So I want to try to make arrangement to have a look at their settlements. Of course we cannot go there by car, but motorbike will do the job. We're very lucky that there were no rains recently, and therefore there is a chance that we'll get to the place by bike. It will be very fascinating for me to see how it's done here, because of my interest in history. I'm going to approach one of these houses, just to show you that there is nothing else but just a normal, very ordinary village house. I don't know, maybe there will be people dying there of hunger inside. But nope, seems like those children are just fine. Okay then, now let's see if they will be able to make the arrangement. Because it's of course the same situation, like the friend of my friend knows how to get there. So we have been riding approximately for half an hour. I haven't done any videos because there were no proper roads actually. Therefore we have been traveling across the fields, across the riverbeds, dried out riverbeds of course. So it wasn't very much handy to hold the phone in hands at the same time. It is good news for us because we will be able to see the true Tanzanian village, disconnected from the main roads. What I see so far, they're definitely big fans of corn and sunflowers. Look at this hedge. I love how do they make this kind of live barriers. It's some kind of local cactus. Of course, if you have a machete, it won't be a problem for you to go through it. And that one I think is serving only decorative purposes. This one is a bit more serious. It's already made from spiky bushes. Okay, let's see what do they have here. This tribe is called Niaturu. Yes, Emanuele? Niaturu. Niaturu. Yeah. So they are not Maasai, but they also have cattle and obviously look after the fields, which I showed you before. There is no electricity here. Little shacks made of bricks. And here we see the children on the ground. That's more like it. I guess that's the picture which you are more used to see on TV screens. Let's ask the locals how badly they are starving, how many times per month they go to eat. Hello. Nope, okay. Not much of respect here, and even the dog is ignoring me. I happen to have a question if people here eat mushrooms. So as we can see, yes, they do eat mushrooms. I'm going to have a look around, while my driver is arranging an audience with the locals, because they're obviously very shy to show themselves, especially in front of my camera. I guess these are the neighbors. Hello.
Hello.
Just the firewood, because obviously they don't have any kind of electric ovens or gas ovens. There's quite a decent house there. And a papaya tree. So basically this is the poorest version of a village which we can find probably. I'm not going to look inside as I wasn't invited to it. So just for your understanding, all the previous settlements, it was Bantu tribes, and Bantu is the major nationality here, and this tribe is the minor nationality. These are the bows which I was talking about, and yes, they're still using them for actual hunting. Because it's a big problem to use a weapon in Tanzania. If you happen to be in the area where the lion was killed, for example, you'll get from 15 up to 30 years in a prison. And this is not a joke. That's why they're still very much fond of all sort of blades or bows. And this is the pike. It's not for tourists because there are no tourists at all in this area, even close. And that is a real weapon to hunt a prey, really sharp. The width is about 10 centimeters, no thicker than my finger. And on the opposite side you see some metal wire. I guess it's to balance the weapon. And it's very flexible, you see. It's bouncing in my hand. So they use this pike for hunting, right? And it's also very much light, obviously, as its purpose to be carried for long distances.
They say that they're not used for the hunting. They're used to, when they are going to the farm, they have this one. And when they go to the take care of the
for protection.
For protection. But there used to be lions facing their animals, so they use this one.
So my driver says we made a mistake. It happens because actually they speak a bit different languages, so it took some time to find the way to understand each other. So nevertheless, those pikes are used for self-protection first of all, when people going out in the fields to work or to graze the cows. It's not for hunting, my mistake. The bow is made of the holistic piece of wood and tension force is about 10 kilos. I believe quite long one. It was a very funny moment when we were trying to understand how far the arrow can go. We couldn't get the number in meters, because obviously they don't know what the meter is. But when we asked how many football fields the arrow flies, he answered immediately, like 3. This is how the arrow looks like, quite dangerous. Obviously they're being in use 100%. It's not a souvenir. And this one is to kill birds. The bird is too small to be killed with an arrow, and therefore you just use that kind of thing to stun it. And this one is to kill big animals. Yeah, quite impressive. Look, it's almost the same size as my palm. What else have we got there? That arrows are used for what kind of animals? Ah, that is for local tiny antelope. So they're delicious, right?
Yeah, very delicious. I've been testing it.
You see, quite convenient. All types of arrows are grouped into bunches. And I also want to ask a question, this grandpa.
Yes.
How many people do you have in your house? In your family? How many people here? It will take some time because we do the translation from their language into Swahili and then into English. So he says it's 2 wives and approximately 20 children. So we made it through the difficulties of a double language barrier. And now we understand why do they have to hunt. It's because besides meat there is only one option of food, which is ugali. Ugali is a kind of the bread made of corn flour. And unlike any kind of other vegetables or meat, an ugali is available all the time. For example, right now they're in a situation when they run out of sweet potato and normal potato. Therefore they have to eat ugali and hunt. They say that right now one of the family members is gone for hunting. Therefore, if he is lucky, in the evening besides ugali they will eat some protein. And that's good, because it doesn't happen often. So here you go, I present you one of the poorest families which I've ever seen in Africa. Besides Maasai maybe. But you have to take into consideration that they're not the Bantu tribe. They don't have any education or jobs. They live literally in the middle of savannah and just do what their ancestors used to do hundreds and hundreds of years. But again, it's not a common situation for majority of people in Tanzania. Here you can see how do they make arrowheads. Basically, they just take an iron nail and hit it many times until it becomes that flat. After that, it is shaped into arrowhead. Basically, it's just called forging. Obviously, with this method, you don't have to harden steel. It's already hard enough for you to shape it. Okay, now it's time to go on. We had a very close look at the weapon, and among all the others, I still love the pike most. Very flexible, as you can see, just as it's supposed to be. It's interesting that they're using some sort of special kind of wood, because it's very hard even though still flexible. Of course, that kind of pike won't serve you well during the long battle, but it will be right enough to throw it a couple of times to pierce your victim. I am super excited, I just love that kind of stuff. It's not very long one though, about 1 meter 70 centimeters probably. And it's absolutely perfectly well balanced. I can feel how it sits in your hand. I'm itching to try and throw that kind of pike to see how does it work actually. Speaking about that, do you see those pretty cows there? No, of course I'm just kidding. I'm not going to kill anyone now. Anyway, it was really unique experience to see with my own eyes how do people live here, following the same tradition and lifestyle that their ancestors used to have. And I believe it was good for you to see how does the authentic African village look like. Even though they're obviously poor and don't have luxury meal on the table. They're not starving to death. Look, they're teaching my driver how to shoot. That guy in white t-shirt, by the way, he's from this village. That's why he managed to find a way there. He introduced us to this settlement. I bet that if you shoot the tree with it, the arrow will break. Oops, seems like I lost the bet. Not so bad for a lady. And what is that? That's just a stick for goats, to bring them to obedience. Okay, let's go. Thank you, see you later. Even though you don't understand what I'm saying. We have to move on. Okay, so let's sum up what you have just seen. It's a really remote village performing very authentic lifestyle. And they're still not shocking. Their children are not starving. The adults look quite alright as well. So I guess when the bloggers or news hunters come to Africa, probably they just intentionally go to the worst places which you could possibly imagine, just to make the attractive and selling content, trying to build this horrible image of poor Africa suffering from diseases and barbarian traditions. But I hope after this video you will see that it's not true. Moreover, I believe that almost any country in this world has the places or areas which look really bad with slums and bombs on the streets and everything like that. But it doesn't mean that the whole country looks like that. So Africa is the same. There are areas where everything looks not very much appetizing. But again, as you can see, the vast majority of people living just normal life in relatively good conditions. Maybe I will change my mind after visiting local ghetto. My driver still promises to take me there, but I'm not sure. So one more time, let's have a look at the road. A very neat and tidy road with good houses along it. And I still don't see anything what would be abnormal. Definitely they're not billionaires, but there is no poverty so far. I asked, by the way, what are those little houses over there? And it appeared to be shops. You won't believe that, but there are some shops in Africa as well. And some more houses where people live. Again, no shock content. Sorry about that. So, you have just seen with your own eyes the most struggling village. And obviously they're not considering themselves to be struggling at all. Actually, sometimes, even if people are rich, here you wouldn't be able to tell just by their look, or by the way of their living, or by their houses. For example, Maasai, they don't have any cash, but they might have about 800 head of cattle. And each cow costs approximately $1,000. Therefore, 800 cows, $800,000. So it's not mostly about if they are wealthy or not. It's about what do they spend their money on. Another example of poor Maasai village you might have seen in video about green garnets. If you remember, there was a family with a very old guy and several young wives. They were living near Pinkwater Lake. So they were also an example of poor village, even though the wives didn't think so at all. However, even in case of really poor families who live in savannah, it almost never comes at the point of starvation, because they always have a plenty of corn flour to make ugali. Of course, there is a deficit of other products, but I also believe that they could easily increase the ration of sweet potato or crops just by doing it a bit smarter way than they're used to. Because I've seen fields around their settlement and they're all planted with crops and sweet potato. And therefore they harvest them all together at once and eat them all together at once. And after that they have to wait for the next harvest. What they could do, they could just plant a little bit of everything in the first month, harvest it, meanwhile plant another bunch of crops to let them reap till the moment they run out of the first harvest. And of course they also can hunt, and they also have cows. They don't use cows for meat though, but they can drink milk. And therefore I strongly believe that all those provocative videos about children being sold for a piece of food, or eaten even by adults, or girls given away to work as prostitute to earn some money, etc. These things are just not true. Or probably they're a very specific example from a very specific area, and they don't represent the average lifestyle in Africa. Of course, they sometimes don't get to eat meat every day, but personally I grew up in the country, where in 90s we also didn't get to eat meat every day. Was it a starvation? I don't think so. And one more thing. They're not general people, they're a small community living deep in savannah. For the same reason they don't have modern houses. It's not probably because they cannot afford it or don't know how to build it. It's most probably because they're following the tradition of the ancestors, just like Maasai, and we cannot blame them for that. So I can tell that if they wanted to live in a modern house, they could just easily sell one of their cows and use this money to build one. But they don't do that, just because they don't want to. What concerns the primitive and some people would say kind of weapons, why don't they have guns? They actually have access to guns, but they consciously avoid using them or keeping them. Because government is very strict about poaching, and they're afraid that if they accidentally kill an animal, a lion for example with a gun, even if it was a self-protection, they'll be sent to jail or get a huge fine, or both. But it's not possible to survive in savannah without any kind of weapon. That's why they have those spikes on them always, to be able to protect themselves from wild animals. And that is the matter of life and death, because even nowadays still up to 10 people die in Tanzania from lions who attack human. Spike will be enough to protect yourself, but most probably won't be enough to kill a lion or an elephant or anyone else. Because here the list of animals which you can hunt is very limited. And if you accidentally shoot zebra or lion or elephant or giraffe, you most probably get between 15 and 30 years in jail, and you're called a butcher according to the law. And actually I do approve this very much. I believe it's important to protect wildlife. And Tanzania did pretty much well in this. They reported recently that over the last 10 years there was no rhino killed on their territory. And that is very impressive. Good job, guys. I don't know actually what kind of magic did they apply to make the law work. Probably any kind of official who is being tempted with a bribery believes that sooner or later he will be caught. And in this case he will definitely go to jail and he will lose his money. So it just isn't worth it. That's it about the village and locals. Now let's talk about diamonds. So first of all, imagine how the diamond mining should look like if we picture it the same way, like in Hollywood movies. Most probably there must be a general with golden machine gun, covered with numerous awards for war achievements, drinking alcohol, using drugs, and looking with despise at poor slaves working hard around him. And then according to the Hollywood scenario, the general shall pick up a couple of poor guys who were not fast enough in order to shoot them right there. There also must be some thugs nearby harassing local villages and torturing innocent people. But in real life it was one of the most lovely minings which I've ever visited. 100% safe and calm environment. All you need to do is just to stand in warm water and watch bunches of material one by one. Nothing stressful, nothing shocking again. The work itself also not so hard. I could easily spend there about a week, and I bet I would enjoy it a lot. You'll see it yourself soon. So let's talk about diamonds. First of all, you need to know that almost all minings of diamonds belong to the one huge corporation, which is called De Beers. It originally comes from South Africa, where there are really rich deposits of diamonds. And most probably, if it wasn't that company, the diamonds wouldn't have become so popular. It's only nowadays we see that diamonds are supposed to be something like a super gemstone, which is several times better than any other one. I can tell that for sure, because I regularly get the requests from different corners of the world to find some nice diamond for engagement ring, for example, and I always ask, why do you want exactly the diamond? And the answer is usually, I don't know, just because it's how it works. You wanna get married, you get the ring with a diamond. But if we look back into history, we'll see that it wasn't quite obvious answer back that time. Actually, what happened? That company De Beers promoted the image of diamonds with the help of Hollywood movies. So the diamond became the most popular gemstone thanks to them. The question is, how did they manage to achieve such great results? Actually, they just started to sponsor Hollywood movie production with one condition. Diamonds must be given a certain image with the help of actors in famous movies. So if a man wanted to give the ring to a woman in the film, it would be a diamond ring. They were also supposed to mention that 5-carat diamond or 4-carat diamond or 9-carat diamond is the most desired thing in the whole world. If there was a situation with the bank robbery in the film, the crime makers were supposed to take not money, not gold, but diamond, showing that they're more precious and valuable than any other things in a safe. The company needed that because, as you will see very soon, the mining of diamonds actually isn't expensive at all. By the matter of fact, here in Africa at the stage of mining, diamond cost almost nothing. Therefore, they had to develop all this huge promoting campaign to increase the price of diamonds on the market. It's also interesting that whenever in the film someone gives a diamond or a diamond ring to a woman, most probably to a woman, they say the magical phrase 1-carat or 2-carat diamond. However, by the look, I can tell that it's no less than 5-carat stone. And believe me, I'm capable of saying how big the stone is. After that, the people tend to order 1 or 2-carat diamond, and they always get very disappointed. Because 1 or 2-carat diamond is a tiny piece of gemstone which is not bigger than a match head. So it's very common misunderstanding that people believe 1 carat to be that big, but it appears to be actually very small. Another topic which we must discuss is the group of white, yellow and cognac brownish diamonds. Only these 3 colors. I must warn you that the price is reducing dramatically over years, as even 200 years ago they were mined in a sufficient amount. And nowadays, when we have all the modern technologies, we find more and more new deposits of these 3 types of diamonds. Therefore, over the last year, the price dropped on 12%. The specialists forecast that the price will continue decreasing for 15, maybe 20% this year. I incline to believe in that, because in 2020 in Africa one huge deposit of diamonds was detected. Experts believe that the amount of diamonds in this deposit is equal or even more than all the diamonds in all minings around the world. Moreover, statistics say that already nowadays there are so many diamonds mined that basically every single person on Earth could get 1 full glass of them. Regarding that, I have only one question: where is my glass of diamonds though? Anyway, what I'm saying is that the prices are being saved from falling down artificially. For example, if they have mined 100 kilos today, they will release to the market only 100 grams. But professional collectors and investors still know the truth. They're aware of the price decreasing, therefore they don't risk putting money into diamonds, because the price will drop sooner or later. And this is how I know why at the mining you can buy a diamond for approximately $400 per carat. Of course, we'll have to lose some stones which will fall apart at the stage of cutting or polishing. But even if we have to throw away 70% of the bought stones, the one which is still left cannot cost $4,000 per carat. So reasonably enough, in case of diamond, you pay not for the value of gemstone itself, but for the value of the name of the brand. So basically the diamonds are like cars. As soon as you bought the new one in a salon and drove it away, the price has dropped from 10,000 to 6,000. And every next year the price will be reducing more and more. But what concerns other colors of diamonds, the situation is quite opposite. For example, at the mining where we're going to be very soon, there are 6 colors. Orange, green, blue, of course just white one, pink and fancy yellow. 1 diamond out of 1000 would be able to produce really clean and bright color. Not just the tint, but the real color. Therefore, they're indeed rare and they're expensive. And what is more important for us, they'll be growing in price the next years. For example, right now, the pale pink diamond, 2 carat size, costs approximately $300,000 or $400,000. Real pink diamond with high quality and vivid color will cost millions of dollars. This is the very recent update on prices, as I looked up on them about 5 days ago. So the color diamonds are insanely expensive, and they're the same insanely rare. While normal white diamonds are very available, and therefore are not supposed to cost that much. And my favorite black diamonds don't show any strong dynamics the last year, but over the last 10 years the price increased on 20% approximately. Another myth around diamonds is that they're unbreakable, which is not quite true. Indeed, the diamond is a very hard stone, therefore it's almost impossible to leave the scratch on its surface. However, if you just accidentally drop it on the floor or hit a sink while washing hands, the diamond will fall apart easily. So don't take the hardness for durability. I am going to post another video actually to respond to all possible critics where I slightly hit the diamond with a hammer and it turns into dust. The skeptics would say that it's just the black diamond. However, according to the Mohs scale of mineral hardness, black diamonds have absolutely the same characteristics as white ones. If you don't trust me, you can Google it and you'll find many other videos of people like me who are breaking diamonds with other heavy objects. But it concerns not only diamonds, all gemstones are fragile. For example, some people don't want to buy a garnet because according to the Mohs scale it's much softer than diamond. But it means nothing actually. Both diamond and garnet will be fragile. Any of them wouldn't like being scratched with some sharp objects like keys for example, and any of them would be absolutely fine if you take a proper care of your gemstone. And the last things to mention is the way how the diamonds are mined here. You will see soon why the cost of the diamonds from Africa is very different from the cost of the diamond from Russia for example. It doesn't mean that Russian diamonds are much better than African ones. In any other mining, there will be poor quality, average quality and excellent quality. There will be white, grayish, dusted, blurred diamonds. The price will be different apparently, because the price does depend on the expenses and amounts of efforts. Now let's watch some videos from the trip. So we have traveled approximately 250 kilometers so far. Now we're at the lakes in Gidan. You can Google where it's located on the map. There we can see quite a lot of different cafes. Most of them for locals though. Why only for locals? Because there are no tourists at all. I haven't met even one yet. Not only a tourist, but just a mzungu, which means a foreigner. Usually there are some who just live and work here, most probably as a priest. So this is basically the resort only for locals. You can see the pool, a little hotel, and over there local tourists. Maybe came here to chill during the weekend. Doesn't look like this place is owned and managed by some foreigners. But who knows? Let's ask. Sorry, you speak English? Hello, who is the owner of this place? Is he local or from outside?
Outside and local people. Inside.
No, I mean the owner of this place. Is he African or not? Tanzanian. Okay, so they say that this complex belongs to a Tanzanian guy.
Sorry?
Yes.
From something? Crab sandwich?
Yes.
Sandwich?
Yes.
And the
Margarita double cheese, beef steak,
margarita?
and mushroom soup.
Yeah, mushroom soup. One mushroom soup is the starter? Is it a starter?
Yes, yes, yes. And 2 water and 1 masala tea.
Okay.
Now you occasionally found out what I and my driver are going to have for the lunch today. They even have Guinness in the fridge. I'm not driving, so why not? Here we go. Okay. So as you can see, everything looks quite normal. No people with gun, no slaves working for free on mining. Hello again. Now we're near the settlement, which is called Chnyago. There were no interesting things there to record at all, so I just skipped that part. And this is how the diamond mine looks like. So a lot of people ask me what is the difference between famous Russian diamonds and other diamonds in the world. First of all, I want to say the Russian diamonds are not quite Russian, because the mining is done by a Britain company. And I'm very much sure, if we try to unravel the tangle, we'll come straight to that mention above, the Pierce company. So if you ever saw how the diamonds are mined in the northern part of Russia, you probably already know that the amount of wasted material is huge. Therefore, the cost per carat is much higher than here, where people just use old-fashioned shovels to get them out of the ground. There are industrial minings here too, with excavators and heavy machinery, but here the climate is a bit different, therefore the mining process is less expensive. What you see here is the private mining though, where people just discovered very likely the colorful diamonds in the ground which belongs to them. Here the government cannot take this land away from them, so they can just mine everything freely, providing that they're paying taxes to the government. These two guys are brothers, and they're the owners of this mining. That guy in blue t-shirt is Dollar. I'm not joking, it's his name. And the second brother is Franklin. Sorry, what is your name?
My name is Shabani.
Shabani. Nice to meet you, Shabani. Franklin, Dollar and Shabani are going to mine some diamond today with me. We're going to dig here, and behind you can see the spot which was already worked out. Can you imagine just 2 meters deep in the ground? No deeper than that. That is a very good illustration why the cost of the Russian diamonds, which are really not easy to be mined, is higher than the price of the local ones. It appeared that in the spot which we have just seen on the video, we need to take several layers of soil. It will take quite a long time, therefore we are moving to another spot. These two brothers appear to be very lucky. They have got a lot of land in this area because their grandfather long time ago managed to buy this land to grow corn. And now his grandchildren became really rich people thanks to that idea. This is the second spot. Here we can start mining already. Let's see how lucky I'm going to be this time. Here they have already reached the layer containing diamonds. They simply lift the material from here with shovels. Again, the depth is no more than 3 meters. Not very much difficult job, isn't it? They don't use any heavy machinery. They don't have to provide electricity or heating because the weather is fine. So the material is taken into one of these holes to be washed. By the way, do you know what this tree is? It's guava. Unfortunately not ripe yet. I'm going to try to wash some diamonds here as well. And I also forgot to tell you that in this mining all the workers are family members. They don't let anyone from outside access the mining. I guess the reason is quite obvious, isn't it? How do they arrange the working process? They give different families the right to dig in different days. But all the time when one family digs and washes diamonds, one representative from another family is present here as well to watch. For example, if today the family of my sister is working here, I'll be watching. And if my family is working tomorrow, my sister will come to watch us. So don't judge by the clothes. They're working here not because they're poor, because it's the safety measure. I guess you understand why. Here if someone stashes a little diamond, it means hundreds of thousands dollars loss. The process is very simple. Those of you who have already watched my previous videos already understand what is happening. First of all, we wash away the dust, then we get rid of the big pebbles, then sort out the rest. I am quite often asked, by the way, why don't I buy one of the mines myself? But the answer is very obvious. I won't be able to leave it even for one day. Because you have to control it 24 hours, 7 days per week. And it's not a figure of speech. Even in the night someone must be present here for understandable reasons. As you can see, there are no walls around here, or any guards. So it's not a problem for someone to come and try to watch all these materials in the night. So owning your mining means living in your mining. And even if you manage to find some really honorable and honest man, it doesn't mean that his honesty doesn't have a price. I'm not saying that it's not possible to find a perfect watcher for the mining. But you can do it only by trying, making mistakes, finding another one, etc. In this case, a mistake is a way too expensive to afford. So basically, until the moment you find the proper person, you might lose millions of dollars. Even if you get a full security camera control and set up the walls around the mining, it most probably won't help, because the gemstones are small. Have you ever watched the film Something About the Red Diamond, where the guy just swallowed the gemstone while nobody was watching? It can be easily done here as well.
You see?
Hooray! We just found a diamond! Here we go. Sorry, can you give me? That's how it looks when taken from the ground. And as I was watching them all the time, I'm pretty sure that this one wasn't actually found. That one was thrown in. Why don't you check it all? Aha, always. Have you heard what he has been explaining? He says that when you wash the diamonds, they usually gather in the center. I like it here so far. No excavators, no nosy machines around. A very meditative process. You see, they didn't even invest some money into it. What they got is just a sifter and their two hands. I want to try myself as well. You can see how he's ignoring all the stones at the sides of the sifter. They strongly believe that there are no chances for a diamond to be among them. Diamonds are taken by the water to the center. How many pieces per day do you find?
It is not guaranteed. One day you can find 50. Another day you can find nothing.
They say that you never know, actually. One day it may be 3 pieces, one day it may be nothing. It's quite understandable. However, there are minings where they find just 1 per month. So if they find several for a couple of days, it's already very good. Don't know how much this land cost. The owner said that their grandfather paid $3,300 for all the lands here. It was several years ago. Very good investment, I must say, because even that little diamond we saw cost probably more than $4,000. I think that's very cool. Good job. Okay, now we're waiting for the next bunch. Sorting out the pebbles. Nothing interesting so far. While the guys are digging, let's have a closer look at the one which we allegedly found. It's not super clean, as you can see, but still quite worthy one.
Okay, no problem.
I don't see any bad crackles here, so the quality is quite decent. How much will you pay me per day?
$20 million. Huh? $200.
200 per day. $200 not bad, I agree. I love this mining, honestly. No diving, no climbing, no heavy stuff to lift. Very pleasant, very nice job. A very, very nice job.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yes, start. Okay, let's see what I've got. I'm very lucky.
Where?
Gotcha. By the way, this one is a greenish diamond. Okay, I need to get out of the water to make a proper video, because if I drop it here back into the pond, it won't be funny. Okay, let's have a closer look. The guy said that they're not Bantu tribes actually, they're from Sukuma tribe. So as you can see, minorities also have a chance to be rich here. And by the fact that we have found 2 pretty diamonds for the last 2 hours, I can tell that they're very filthy rich. I wish all kind of minings could be the same pleasant as this one. Look what a beautiful color, yellowish green or greenish yellow. It's interesting that it looks like it has been chipped off. I wonder what kind of power could do that. Therefore, most probably it happened many million years ago when the stone has been formed. So must tell that the diamond mining is one of the most pleasant experiences in my life so far. Now we are in the house of the owner, and he showed what they have got for the last several days. You can tell by the look of the uncut stones that they will be very, very expensive ones. If the white diamonds with the white background show clean white color, it means that they're high in quality. Look what interesting crystal I have found. I like it even better just like that. I would even frame it in the ring without any cutting or polishing. We are again on the road with my friend Dollar and Benjamin, who are the family members. I tried to ask them if it's possible at all to buy the diamond mining. And of course they said if a person had a diamond mining with the actual diamond being mined there, it would never be put on sale. So even if there's a situation when the owners need money, a lot of money for some reason and very quick, or they're just tired of the business and they're ready to give up and live their life. Even in this case, the buyers would be their relative. Nobody will allow the fortune like that to go into hands of the person from the outside. Therefore, if you see the advertisement or the opportunity to buy the mine with the diamonds, be sure that it's a fraud. How it's done? Take for example this family's neighbors who don't have any diamonds on their territory, which is still very close to the mining. Those neighbors can buy several diamonds from the lucky neighbors who own the mine itself, and just make it look like it was them who found the diamond on their lands. After that they would try to sell it for good money. But basically just the fraud. You would ask me, who would buy that kind of land from them? Most probably it would be some people from the cities who have no idea about mining business and who want to invest money. There are actual cases like that here. That's another reason why I don't buy mining for myself, because nobody would sell a cow which is providing milk. I also tried to ask about relationship between families here who claim the right on the land. And the guys explained that the most greedy and quarrelsome relatives were banned from mining here. Because basically the owner is a grandpa, he has the right to give access to the part of the mining or deny it. The rest of the family are doing fine. They have a special schedule when they have an access to the mining. There were sad stories about several members of the families who became alcoholics due to the unbearable weight of suddenly emerged fortune. It seems like I have seen a couple of them at the mining. The plans for the future are unclear, because according to the report of geologists, they have deposits enough to mine for the next 30 years. But they don't know what to do with it so far, so they just spend money on buying surrounding lands. None of them has been buying a yacht or an apartment in London or something like that, because they just cannot imagine if there is some other life beyond their village. None of them have ever even been abroad. The youngest brother, Benjamin, decided that he doesn't want to spend his whole life digging the mud. Therefore, he spent his part on education. He went to study for a pharmacist in a very good university. Is education in university free in Tanzania or not?
No, it's not free until you get a loan.
Is it cheap?
Get a loan from the government.
So here's the way how this system works. The government covers the cost of your study, but you have to work for a certain amount of time after that for the government. So he actually hasn't even spent the money of his family on the education. But definitely the fact that his family doesn't have to work hard in fields anymore changed his life. Now he's got a chance to study. Look at these enormous cows. I've never seen the horns like that before. I'm in shock. They're giant. It seems like it's about 1.5 meters between the horns.
Oh yeah.
Look formidable enough, I must say. But as you can see, they're not behaving in an aggressive way. I have seen over there the one even with bigger horns. Just give me a minute, I'm going to come up to him. I can tell this is a chief. Wow, that's just wow. If you have any idea how these kind of cows are called, please leave your thoughts in the comments. I wouldn't mind have a couple of those as a pet. They look so cool. Just look at that. It's incredible. So to sum up, question number 1. Is it a good idea to buy diamonds as an investment? 3 colors, cognac brownish, yellow and white are definitely not a good choice. Their price will be decreasing for sure. The colored diamonds are a good investment, but the price starts with several hundreds of thousands of dollars, and their price is rocketing even now, because the quantity of minings with colored diamonds is close to zero, but not everybody can afford that type of investment. The next question is, if it's a good idea to buy the diamond as a gift, so it's really up to you. If you like exactly that one stone, you can buy it, but I must tell you that the price of it will be decreasing. So if something bad happens, you most probably won't be able to sell it and get your money back. And as I mentioned before, the diamond is not a cheap stone at all. So basically you won't be able to gain any profit at all. Most probably you will have losses. Despite of all my arguments, do I still sell diamonds cheaper than a normal jewelry shop? The answer is yes, I do sell them, and the difference in price will be about 20%. For example, something what you may find in a shop for $10,000, I can get you for $7,000 or so. I remember that I mentioned that at the mining I can buy one of those for $400 per carat. But you should take into consideration that very little percent gemstones which are found there can be cut and can be used for jewelry. Therefore, the final price still will be higher, of course. So maximum what I can do for you is to make the difference of several thousands of dollars. And one more thing you should know. I'm working with diamonds, 1 carat, 2 carat and more. I don't work with the diamond dust, because in this case there will be no profit at all. The bag with the diamond dust would be about $200, and just the gasoline would be about $100, and the meal for me and my driver $60 or more, so there is no point in that. Do I plan to get closer with that miners of colored diamonds? Yes, I do, but I'll have to find a month or a couple of months to go there and live with them. So they would start trusting me. In this case, we can hope for a significant decrease in price. But again, by the difference I mean that what is usually sold for $300,000, I will probably get for $250,000. And even in this case, it will be very difficult to arrange. Because the diamonds of such quality and price are usually gone by the end of the day, so in the morning they're mined, in the evening they're sold. Why are people so eager to do that? Because it's a very convenient investment. Gold, apartment, land can be deprived of you, but the diamond, you can just get it in your pocket and fly to another country and sell it at auction and get the money. That's why a lot of billionaires invest in gemstones and diamonds in particular. It's like millions of dollars which can sit in your pocket, and nobody will even notice that. So that's pretty much it about diamond mining. If you have any questions or comments, leave them beneath the video. I'll be happy to chat. Take care and bye-bye.